Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering from ELD's Time Vault Games from Bellingham, Mass. Here we have Drew on a Fauna Shaman build, a descendant of the Survival of the Fittest decks that used to be just one of the pillars of Legacy until it was eventually KO'd by the banned list. Force of Will stopping a Sylvan Library, a card that can really pay a lot of dividends, and this... what is it? It's not Selesnya. It's green-white. Does it have blue in it? I don't think it has blue in it. I think it's just green-white. We'll see what this list actually entails. But another Sylvan Library. This one also Force of Willed. So a Force pitching a Brainstorm, a Force pitching a Icefang Coatl, and stuck on just 1 mana plus a Noble Hierarch, Baron coming down. And this is a example of where Baron might be kind of at his best compared to the previous. I'm going to pull up his exact text. Yeah, Baron can actually result in some nice card advantage. Now we got a Dryad Arbor fetching. Potentially do some blocking, perhaps. We'll see. I mean, it is also a forest. And elves most notably used for natural order. Oko now. And going after the Aether Vial. What is that? Oh, I feel like this is actually... oh, that's a Giver of Runes. Okay. Alright, we got a Giver of Runes. We have more Aether Vials. Europe shows up briefly. And this is an awful lot off of not very much. Now, Fauna Shaman online, and this deck could show us what it's got here. Still just this one Savannah. I mean, guess technically it's the Dryad Arbor as well. Eternal Witness being pitched and grabbing a... is that a Deputy of Detention? I don't even know how I know that card. That does not see play. What are you doing to me here, Drew? Yeah, all right. That is. Oko has been exiled by this deputy as long as he's around. And Fauna Shaman... I mean, it's no Survival of the Fittest, but it does a lot of silly stuff. Baron getting returned. Noble Hierarch to go find. I feel like every one of these is going to be just a test. Looks kind of symmetrical. I mean, we'll see based off of what it does. Birds of Paradise. It's got a known card in hand. And Aluren really floundering here. Not really doing a whole lot. Or this this wild, I think they call it most. It's like a Fauna Shaman brew. Leovold being ditched. To grab, I think, a Palace Jailer. Yeah, Palace Jailer at 4. And this card's a mystery to me still. I am not clear on what this card is. Going to try and piece it together based off of some type of board state, but no, I mean, it turns sideways. Almost looks like a Thought-Knot Seer, but I don't think it is. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you've got that. That will be helpful. We'll pin it to the top. You know what I can do? For the next videos, I will see if I can pick up on the audio. We'll see if that actually gets recorded. Wear some headphones. The players talking to each other will make this way more obvious. Usually the stream is super crystal clear, but obviously we've got some challenges here playing from home, and just witnessing without listening making it a little bit more difficult. Boy, that looks more and more like a Thought-Knot Seer the more I'm looking at it. These Aether Vials doing some heavy lifting. And now a Abrupt Decay taking out Gilded Goose. Matt's got a whole lot of food and survive for a little while. Not seeing anything that would actually stop Matt from winning if he could get the Aluren down. So if he can just get rid of that Sanctum Prelate. It's really like a Chalice of the Void. A Cavern. Harpy coming down. And again, we've got Icefang Coatl. I think that might be Cauldron Familiar in play as well. If so, I mean, that creates a really complicated game state. This is a really bizarre game. I get a sense that is part of it for some for some of the people playing. I feel like they are testing the waters to see just how crazy a deck they can get on camera. Now, we do pick the #1 table to be on camera so far. That's how we have been doing things. And I think it's likely that'll stick around. Giver of Runes protecting Birds of Paradise, making a block, preserving some life here for Drew. Icefang Coatl, drawing a card. Draining. Now, it's possible we will address that, but that is the challenge. I mean, you can play something totally wacky and randomly get there in the first round. If you keep winning, you will eventually end up on camera. So, no matter how bizarre your list is, if you're undefeated going into the last round, unless we've got more than 16 people, you're going to be on camera. Baron coming down. And while he is an answer to the Sanctum Prelate in the short term, doesn't actually finish the job. What is that card? That mystery card turning sideways again. Whatever it is, it's tenacious. I mean, I don't think it can be Thought Knots here because we'd have a hand being revealed. Yeah. I'm going to say not Thought Knots here based on all that evidence. Brainstorm here. And Matt's going to need just a ton of mana to actually get out of that. Like, he could use Baron to bounce the Sanctum Prelate and then cast the Aluren. But that is 7 mana. And I believe there's an Aether Vial, which would also have something to say about it. And now Euro showing up, gaining some more life. Drew fetching a couple of times here, sinking some mana. What is... I'm actually not sure what his mana was just used for there. Yikes. Yeah, this one's a tough one, guys. This one is a tough one to follow along with. I'm going to stick this out. But this is definitely going to result in me wearing headphones for the future ones. Hopefully we actually pick up the audio. I don't even know if we still do. Let's see here. I can't hear that. I turned the volume up for a second there on their audio, but it didn't play through the system. We've got a Cavern Harpy showing up. Icefang Coatl, drawing a card. Now each time that one of these creatures enter the battlefield under Matt's control, he's able to gain a life and make Drew lose a life. Oko now showing up. And Giver of Runes is currently tapped. Fauna Shaman being used to go get Elesh Norn. One, two. Oh, and he's got the Loyal Retainers. Okay. I was going to start counting mana, but Loyal Retainers is going to make this go away super fast. Elesh Norn just going to KO all the things. -2/-2 to your dreams here. As the entire combo revolves around small creatures doing things repeatedly. And now all of Drew's creatures significantly larger, thanks to Elesh Norn. And that is a crazy, drawn-out game number one. Drew had all day, as did Matt. Matt just... I guess the Sanctum Prelate was likely the main issue there, stopping Aluren from being cast. I'd imagine he probably had it stranded in hand and was unable to actually get it into play. We are done mulliganing. Just taking a look at some deck lists. I think that mystery card was Shalai, as far as I can tell. A legendary 3/4 with creatures with you planeswalkers and other creatures you control having hexproof. Ponder here for Matt off of a basic island. Will he find a quick Aluren and force a game 3, or will we see another crazy slog? Aether Vial for most. Off of a Bayou. Matt fetching out a duel. Likely Tropical Island. No, Bayou for Thoughtseize. Alright. So, Deputy of Detention, Campbell, Fauna Shaman, Abrupt Decay, Noble Hierarch, and Dryad Arbor. That is quite a collection of magic cards. Some might call a hand. Fauna Shaman, the likely pick here. But, I mean, they're all kind of a problem. Though I would expect Fauna Shaman to be the most dangerous card here. No, he's going to go with Deputy of Detention. Thinks he's going to be able to answer the Fauna Shaman before it becomes a problem. Aether Vial, vialing in Dryad Arbor. I don't know if I knew you could do that. A Fauna Shaman being cast here on turn 2. Yeah, I mean, I suppose the mana cost rules have changed. I don't know if you could always do that. Aether Vial ticking up. Noble Hierarch is going to allow this Fauna Shaman to do some stuff. Now, in the past, Survival of the Fittest decks would have access to things like Quirion Ranger, and instead we've got a Leovold just being cast here. Fauna Shaman just beating down for 3 thanks to the Noble Hierarch's Exalted trigger. An Abrupt Decay and a Campbell. Gilded Goose. And Leovold, a legit problem here. Plague Engineer is going to come down and take out Noble Hierarch, bottlenecking the mana a little bit. Not nearly as effective as you'd hope versus a creature-based strategy. Plague Engineer very often is just game over. However, here it just kills a Noble Hierarch and then trades with that already noticed Abrupt Decay. It does at least slow down the bleeding here with Leovold only doing 3 damage instead of the 4 that Exalted would have bestowed upon it. Euro now coming back from the graveyard and not drawing a card thanks to Leovold, however, gaining 3 life and potentially getting a land drop. But Drew actually going to have a response here. Campbell. No, Fauna Shaman. Extra copy of Fauna Shaman being discarded to go ahead and grab the... oh, I remember this. This is not going to work. So there's going to be a judge call here. And we will skip over it quickly. But basically, this dog says that you can't play spells from the graveyard and creatures can't enter from the battlefield. Well, as it turns out, Euro has been cast, so he would be entering from the stack. He would not be entering from the graveyard. And because it's already been cast, it has nothing to do with not being able to cast spells from the graveyard. So this could have been done preemptively to stop Uro from escaping, but not in response. It would have just stopped Uro from being cast from the graveyard at all. And instead, we're just going to go ahead and skip over this judge call. All right, so going to go ahead and just grab a Elesh Norn and then cast Campbell. Follow that up with another quick reanimation of Elesh Norn, thanks to Loyal Retainers. And swinging with some beefy creatures now, as they're getting a boon from Elesh Norn of +2/+2, and Uro, usually a giant, now just a 4/4. And it's going to be really tough to get through this. I mean, Elesh Norn has to be cleared. Yeah, Gilded Goose is very dead. Elesh Norn would have to be cleared. And Leovold, also a huge problem. Gilded Goose just making a food. Potentially just gaining some life there. Going to try and hold on. But I don't think there's any real possibility of making it out of this one. Drew being up a game as well, so I mean, if this was a 1-1 situation, then maybe it'd be conceivable to play for the draw, but in this situation, this is all over but the scooping at this point. Sanctum Prelate coming down, and just massive beats here. Vigilance on Elesh Norn, I believe. Been a little while since I sleeved that card up, but that is going to do it. So, wow, Elesh Norn really lines up in devastating fashion against Aluren's smaller creatures. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.